Prosocial behavior is voluntary behavior helping, sharing, contributing in an effort to benefit others, which behavior can change with age.
This prosocial is found at the age of 2 years of human development, which will form a sense of empathy in children in the form of facial expressions, vocals, or gestures of fear and develop as a person ages. At the age of 4 to 20 years, the prosocial will develop. In general, these developmental levels of prosocial moral reasoning are distinguished. 1. Hedonistic responses motivated by consideration of selfish gain. 2. Needs-oriented consideration of others' feelings and needs. 3. Stereotype try to gain approval. 4. Emphatic orientation judgment include sympathetic feelings. 5. Internalized values based on internalized values. Of prosocial behavior. Most research on the learning of prosocial behavior was conducted in the 196S and 197S. Two major mechanisms are relevant. The first is modeling. Modeling that conveys effective coping strategies can boost the self-efficacy of individuals, where the modeling itself usually consists of various ways, directly, through video, or through saying and doing processes. They have been able to balance both the performance model and the verbalization model. And the second is social reinforcement. Social reinforcement is based on reward or punishment. An object on the reward scale is using rewards to motivate children can help produce the desired behavior.
Factors that influence the existence of prosocial behavior. First, gender difference. The results show that there were significant difference between men and women, where women were more prosocial than men. Second, urban-rural comparisons. Urban-rural, which tests the prosocial difference in helping between small towns and big cities. Third, time effect. A tendency to mistrust, which can contribute to decrease in prosocial behavior in public. This complemented by reduced levels of interpersonal trust and a narration of a sense of community, which is collectively defined as loss of social capital. And the last, social status. On the other hand, social status can also affect prosocial behavior, for better or worse, by altering the costs and benefits of prosociality. For example, by affecting people depends on others, their vested interest in others, their ability to be prosocial, and their need for status maintenance.
Now let's talk about process of prosocial behavior. According to Birhoff, 2002, page 105, process of prosocial behavior are divided into 3 steps, which is empathy, growth, and responsibility. The first stage is empathy. Empathy refers to a time of one's self-aware self to comprehend the positive and negative experience of another self. The first thing that causes empathy arousal is based on a mimical response to another's expression of sadness. It is assumed that an observer automatically experiences the same emotion that another person expresses. The second stage is guilt. Empathy and guilt refer to perceived distress of others. Another common feature is that both emotions relate positively to prosocial behavior. The development of empathy and guilt is closely related. Both refer to distress of a victim and have much in common because they lead to reduction of the suffering of the victim. The last stage is responsibility. Responsibility could be a predictor of prosocial behavior depending on in a part of the characteristic of the situation. For example, responsibility is better predictor of prosocial behavior when the potential helpant is an easy escape route available and when the victim's needs are strong.
Theories of prosocial behavior. First, arousal cost-reward model of intervention starts with the assumption that the observer of an emergency are psychologically aroused and that the arousal is experienced as aversive. Second, empathy altruism hypothesis. This theory focuses on whether mood management, which is connected with vicariously experiencing the suffering of a victim, may explain the 1 versus 3 pattern of result. Third, empathy-related responding. Eisenberg and Faith summarize empirical research with children which shows that it may be fruitful to consider empathic concern and personal distress as individual difference variables that are closely linked to temperament and social integration. Fourth, social inhibition. The results of various experiments have shown that social inhibition affects emergency situations are a robust finding. The presence of several bystanders reduces the likelihood of intervention compared to a single bystander. Fifth, altruistic personality is defined as an enduring tendency to think about the welfare and the rights of other people, to feel concern and empathy for them, and to act in a way that benefits them. Sixth, threat control model. Receiving help and seeking help are two quite different things. However, both may be understood on the basis of the determinants that are incorporated in the threat control model of reaction to help.
Application. The 3 topics of applied research that will be reviewed here are encouragement of first aid, solidarity in society, and voluntary work engagement in organization. Encouragement of first aid. In order to encourage someone of first aid case, they need to increase their readiness to give first aid in the everyday life. Therefore, the more common someone facing an emergency first aid cases, the readier they will be to give someone first aid and to intervene. Intervention on first aid cases determined by someone's objective competence, which divided into the frequency of training course of first aid situation and time point of facing training course of first aid situation. Solidarity on society. There are 2 types of solidarity. First, the common interest, a type of solidarity that shows a regular basis of common interest. A person tends to show a rational egoist and unwillingly to cooperative on a decision making for themselves to others. The second one, basis of interest of others, which is characterized by improving situation of people who exist outside the horizon of personal interests. Voluntary work engagement in organization comes with 3 approaches. First, organizational citizenship behavior. This approach makes someone to work as their role function as possible. The second, prosocial organizational behavior, is an approach that makes someone to work as their role function and correlating with their coworker to establishing something they are in common with. The third, organizational spontaneity, is an approach to make someone to work outside of their functionality to accomplish something out of their nature as form of spontaneity.